Okay. Please join me in welcoming the College of Pharmacy, class of 2019. Okay, good morning. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Janine Winicky, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs at the College of Pharmacy. And along with other members of the College of Pharmacy, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Class of 2019 White Coat Ceremony at Rosalind Franklin University. This is a significant and meaningful event, and it's enhanced by having all of you join us this morning. Thank you to the family and friends of the College of Pharmacy 2019 class. I know that your overall support and your attendance and here today means a great deal to your students. We also appreciate members of the Rosalind Franklin University community being here, including members of the university administration, faculty, staff, and students from other programs. Their presence here today is a testimony to the interprofessional philosophy we embrace here at the university. We're honored to have members of our advisory board here today as well. You have been invaluable in the development and continued growth of the college. And having you here, we give you a sincere thanks. Thank you to our preceptors and our community partners. It's because of your support and collaboration that our students have clinical experiences that they get to wear these white coats too. Thank you to Jewel Osco, whose generous gift provided the white coats and the reception that follows the ceremony. We appreciate that all of you have made the effort to come together this morning and celebrate a truly symbolic event for the class of 2019. The symbolism begins for you, the class of 2019, as this ceremony represents your transition from a strictly academic education to one that includes clinical training and activities. The acceptance of your white coat indicates your entry into the world of patient care and the next steps in your evolution as student pharmacists. The symbolism extends to the College of Pharmacy itself, for just as the white coat signifies your metamorphosis, today's ceremony represents the next step in the evolution of the college as we take on the responsibility of providing pharmacy practice experiences to you, our fifth entering class. It's an exciting time for all of us, and everyone in the auditorium should feel proud to be a part of this beginning and the journey ahead. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Dean of the College of Pharmacy, Dr. Mark Abel. Dr. Abel will offer some opening remarks and introduce our guest speakers. Dr. Abel.
Thank you, Professor Winnecke. Good morning. Congratulations, class of 2019. You are at an exciting and life-changing point in your career, starting your journey to becoming a pharmacist. The next 4 years will be challenging, sometimes difficult, but most importantly, never dull. This is a truly special event because starting very soon, you begin the clinical part of your PharmD journey in real-life pharmacy settings and join the ranks of one of the oldest and most respected healthcare professions. Although it is a centuries-old profession, it is one that continues to respond to, as well as stimulate, changes in the way healthcare is delivered. Healthcare is now a team effort, but no one member of the team can promote wellness or save lives alone. During your journey in the College of Pharmacy, you will learn how to work on that patient-centered healthcare team and treat the other healthcare professionals on the team with respect. You will collaborate with them, and they will need to rely on you as the drug and dosing expert. The College of Pharmacy is a model of what Rosalind Franklin University does well. Integrate the health professions while providing a first-class education tailored to your profession. You will learn a lot over the next 4 years, not only about pharmacy and healthcare, but about yourself. You will have many opportunities, but also face many challenges. You will practice your profession in diverse settings and learn the importance of healthy living, the pathophysiology of disease, and most importantly, you will learn how to deliver and manage medications. The white coat that you will put on today symbolizes your profession. Patients see immediately that it is the pharmacist speaking to them, and it is your responsibility to interact with your patients in an engaged, thoughtful, and professional manner. I would like you to think for a moment that the white coat symbolizes a contract between you and the patient under your care. The contract means that you will provide the best evidence-based practice available to facilitate wellness and actively provide compassionate care. The faculty in the college have every confidence that you will succeed, and I know that you will make your family, the faculty, and your community proud. The white coat is the robe of the profession. Wear it proudly. After 4 years of study at Rosalind Franklin University College of Pharmacy, you will be practice-ready and team-ready, proficient, compassionate providers of patient-centered quality care that is delivered with integrity and respect for patients, their families, and your healthcare colleagues. This is a very exciting time for the pharmacy profession as you enter a field that will continue to evolve. You will have new opportunities and responsibilities as the understanding and delivery of healthcare changes. Embrace those new vistas. Be open to new approaches. Influence the profession, and be true to the Rosalind Franklin University philosophy of life in discovery. Finally, remember to be kind, respectful, and mindful in all of your interactions. As a pharmacist, you have the opportunity to greatly impact the lives of people, and often a subtle action can have profound effects. Continue to be the caring and competent professionals that I'm sure you are. Now, we're fortunate today to have not one, but 2 guest speakers, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Alex Adams and Dr. Jennifer Adams. Dr. Alex Adams is the Vice President of Pharmacy Programs for the National Association of Chain Drug Stores, NACDS, in Arlington, Virginia. He is responsible for the NACDS's public health efforts and also leads the research efforts of the NACDS Foundation, which has a $5 million portfolio focused on pharmacy-based point-of-care testing, medication adherence interventions, and pharmacy services following hospital discharge, among other important areas of pharmacy. Dr. Adams received his Bachelor of Science and Doctor of Pharmacy degrees from the University of Toledo, graduating as class valedictorian. He graduated with the Master of Public Health degree from the Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health. Our second speaker, Dr. Jennifer Adams, pursued her bachelor's degree at Boise State University, received her Doctor of Pharmacy from Idaho State University, and her doctorate in education from the George Washington University. She is currently employed as Senior Director of Strategic Academic Partnerships at the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, providing leadership and oversight for association partnership development. Dr. Adams also oversees national student affairs activities, including PharmCAS, PCAT, and student recruitment. Her previous experience includes working in hospital and community pharmacy settings and the American Pharmacists Association. Now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Alex Adams, followed by Dr. Jennifer Adams.
Certainly, thank you, Dean Abel, for the warm introduction, and to the entire Rosalind Franklin University community for the invitation to be here to mark such an important occasion. When Dean Abel extended the invitation, I first double-checked to confirm he understood which Adams family he was booking. Let me start by welcoming the class of 2019 to the profession of pharmacy. This ceremony is a rite of passage. It symbolizes your transition to student pharmacist, and I know, having only been 4 days here at Rosalind Franklin, it might seem very subtle, but let me assure you that with this white coat ceremony comes major changes. Simply put, when you put your white coat on this morning, it conveys to the public a powerful message, one of trust, integrity, ethics, and with this comes responsibility. So my goal this morning is to challenge you all to think broadly about your newfound role as a member of the pharmacy profession starting today. Specifically, I'd like to illustrate 3 major themes this morning. First, times they are a-changin'. Second, together, we must commit to advancing the future vision of pharmacy practice. And third, we must accept responsibility for change. So I'll start off with times they are a-changin'. Any presentation about the future often starts with the past, and this one is no different. I find the past a natural place to start because I'm a direct descendant of John Adams. No, not the president, the pharmacist from Defiance, Ohio. His dad was a pharmacist, whose dad was also a pharmacist. So as a 4th-generation pharmacist, I like to joke that my blood type was RX positive. And with all due apologies to Walt Disney, I like to think about my family's pharmacy journey through the lens of the Carousel of Progress. Maybe just a quick show of hands. Have any of you actually been to the Carousel of Progress? A small smattering of folks. So for those of you that have not, the Carousel of Progress is a ride at Disney's Tomorrowland. The basic premise is it follows it follows a family through the 20th century. It's a ride with 6 scenes. As each scene revolves, it reveals the progress and technological advancement that comes with time. I think the same is true for pharmacy. So I think of my family's pharmacy journey through the lens of the Carousel of Progress. And I set scene 1 in 1913 when great-grandpa Adams graduated from pharmacy school at Ohio Northern University. And I had my great-grandpa's degree on my wall in my dorm room when I was studying in pharmacy school, and often in the doldrums of studying for exams, I would look at it with contempt because there were only 2 drugs in the market back then. How hard could pharmacy school have been at that time? Now, I imagine the second scene in the Carousel of Progress when my grandpa was practicing in the 1930s at Adams Pharmacy, and I picture it very reminiscent of this Norman Rockwell painting where there's a bookish pharmacist compounding a product, his mortar and pestle sitting resplendent atop that old Remington pharmacology. And, the pharmacy at that time was probably known more for its soda fountain than it was for its pharmacy services. So in the interest of time, I'll skip ahead to what I consider scene 5 and imagine pharmacy practice as it is today. Scene 5 is today. The Doctor of Pharmacy degree, which you all are now pursuing, is the entry-level degree for the profession of pharmacy. And compounding has certainly taken a backseat to direct to product distribution, but patient care services are gaining a foothold. Think of the pharmacists you see in their white coats giving immunizations or counseling patients on their medications. Now imagine, if you will, scene 6 in the Carousel of Progress. It's set in the future. It's the final scene. It's a year I'll call 20 tomorrow. Imagine what 20 tomorrow will look like, and imagine, importantly, what it will look like relative to today. Today is your first day as a member of the pharmacy profession. Someday you're going to look back on this day, and you're going to say one of 2 things. Wow, pharmacy practice in 2015, that was so primitive. You're going to look back on this day, and you're going to say, wow, pharmacy practice in 2015, those were the good old days. Change is guaranteed to happen, but change can go in either direction, and not all change is progress. Take, for example, the blacksmiths of the 19th century. Parents used to prod their kids into blacksmithing. Horses are always going to need shoes was the conventional wisdom. They certainly do, but it didn't take into account the technological progress that comes with planes, trains, and automobiles. So I don't intend to scare you this morning. In fact, I bring great tidings from the National Pharmacy Associations. If you want to know what the future of pharmacy will look like, I will tell you empirically. The future of pharmacy will become whatever people like us imagine, and its advancement will reflect the energy with which you all engage. Which brings me to my second point. Together, we must commit to advancing the future vision of pharmacy practice. Those of us that work at the National Pharmacy Associations know that we often like to gather in chilly hotel ballrooms and talk about things to death. But a number of years ago, a group of pharmacy associations got together to write a clear and cohesive vision statement for the profession of pharmacy. It said, pharmacists will be the healthcare professionals responsible for providing patient care that ensures optimal medication therapy outcomes. I encourage every single one of you to write that on a note card and put it in the pocket of that freshly pressed white coat that you'll be putting on later today. It says, pharmacists will be the healthcare professionals responsible for providing patient care that ensures optimal medication therapy outcomes. Together, we must commit to advancing this vision for the future of pharmacy. Without such a commitment, advancement simply will not occur. I want to share with you one story regarding the power of a vision such as this one. Shortly after John F. Kennedy was elected president, he challenged the nation with putting a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth within a decade. We all know how this story ends, but what you might not have heard is the story of when the young president toured a NASA facility for the first time in 1961. The president reportedly met a man mopping one of the floors in one of the hallways. And he was working exceptionally hard, so he caught the president's attention, and Mr. Kennedy went up to the janitor and shook his hand and asked him what he did at NASA. And the janitor looked the young president in the eye, and he said, "Sir, I'm helping to put a man on the moon." And the story illustrates the idea that everyone at NASA, regardless of his or her responsibilities, was contributing in his or her own way to the ultimate mission of the organization. And the same must be true in pharmacy. As students today, you will have unprecedented opportunities to be visible to patients in your community. Starting tomorrow, I promise you, your friends and relatives who have weird medication questions will start calling you. Every single day, as a member of the profession of pharmacy, you will have opportunities to live and breathe and exhibit this vision. Together and only together can we achieve this vision. And that brings me to my third and final point. We must accept the responsibility for change. There's a saying that there's two primary choices in life: to accept conditions as they exist, or to accept the responsibilities for changing them. And to truly practice at the top of our education, not the bottom of our licenses, and to ensure our 20 tomorrow is worthy of your talents, we must accept the responsibilities for change. The conditions as they exist are that of an approaching storm, ushered in part by the Affordable Care Act, more commonly known as Obamacare. Certainly this is a very politicized topic, but let's forget the politics of it for a moment and focus only on the facts as it relates to pharmacy. We have up to 30 million new patients coming into the healthcare system. As the floodgates open, we have 30 million new patients, but no additional physicians to care for them. 18,000 IRS agents to tax them, but no additional physicians to care for them. Not to mention the number of U.S. medical students entering primary care over the past decade has been cut by more than 50%. So the healthcare system and the profession of pharmacy will be forced to change, and we as a profession must accept the responsibility for such change, and we must lead that change. So what role can pharmacy play? What role will you play when you all graduate? Well, I would contend one of our biggest assets is the accessibility of pharmacists. 95% of all Americans live within 5 miles of a pharmacy. We're open nights, we're open weekends. You're already seeing the power of our access in action with immunizations. Today, 1 in 4 adults goes into a pharmacy for a flu shot annually. But vaccines are just the tip of the iceberg. Pharmacists today receive more training in pharmacotherapy than any other health profession. We are the medication experts on the patient's interdisciplinary healthcare team, and think about the possibilities when you combine our access with our medication expertise. Let me give you just one example. In some states, such as Michigan and Nebraska, Patients with flu-like illness could walk into a pharmacy at any time and get a rapid diagnostic test from a pharmacist. A pharmacist will swab their nose, and the test, with a high degree of accuracy, will tell you if they have the flu or not. Well, then, as part of an interdisciplinary healthcare team, those pharmacies have collaborative practice agreements with physicians that allow them to start the appropriate treatment in the store that day for influenza. So imagine the patient care benefits if pharmacists were on the front lines providing more direct treatment for conditions such as flu or strep throat. Imagine the impact that could have. One of the things that you'll learn when you take infectious disease is that global antibiotic resistance is a significant public health threat, and when pharmacists guide decision-making around antimicrobials anchored to objective scientific tests, it can really improve patient care. But take the model I just mentioned, where patient comes into the pharmacy for a flu test, and then the patient treats flu based on that model, and strip it down to its core. This could be a recipe for a whole host of conditions. And one of the things I want to convey to you is how fast technology is changing. There's now tests that are coming to the market, for example, where you can put a thin film on the cover of your iPhone, and you can put a drop of blood on that film, and with a high degree of accuracy, it will tell you what your hemoglobin A1C is. You'll find out when you take endocrine that based on the hemoglobin A1C, you can tell somebody's diabetes control, and a pharmacist could potentially adjust the medication regimen to help meet that patient's medication needs. So imagine the possibilities. I read somewhere that technology is changing so quickly that by the time you all graduate, up to 50% of what you're taught will either be wrong or obsolete. What your faculty don't know is what 50%, so you'll be tested on all of it. And you'll be charged tuition for all of it. We must accept responsibility for the change, and we must do so each and every time we put on our white coat. I don't know about you, but I'm fired up about pharmacy. And while the times around us are challenging, the opportunities before us are certainly invigorating, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be with you all today. Now, I welcome you all, class of 2019, on your first official day as a member of the pharmacy profession, and all I ask is that you remember, when it comes to advancing the practice of pharmacy, it's going to take all of us leading the change. I ask you to not just come to Rosalind Franklin to study pharmacy. I ask you to come here to change pharmacy. It's going to take all of us together forever, beginning now. Will you join us? Thank you.
So I would like to start out, first of all, I'm not tall enough. I'd like to start out by thanking Dean Abel and Rosalind Franklin University for inviting the Adams family to join you today as you guys embark on the profession of pharmacy. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Now that you all have been inspired by my smart, and I might say also dashingly handsome husband, let's talk about an important attribute that you will need throughout your career: professionalism. Or in other words, what it means to be a part of a profession, to be a professional who is part of a profession. And I believe that over the last few days of your orientation, you guys have talked about this a little bit. So we're going to reinforce some of those concepts and maybe change your perceptions on a few of them. My hope today is that I can outline what it means to be a part of the pharmacy profession so that you will be able to accomplish the goal just set for you by Alex of advancing the practice of pharmacy. To begin, I would like to pose a few questions. First, what does it mean to be a professional or to display professionalism in pharmacy? Second, is professionalism in pharmacy different from professionalism in other professions? Third, when should you learn about professionalism as a component of your PharmD curriculum, and when is professionalism needed? A number of years ago, the AACP Council of Deans, which, by the way, that's all the deans in the country, and student leaders from the American Pharmacists Association, Academy of Student Pharmacists, convened a task force whose goal was to answer the questions that I have outlined, which resulted in a white paper that was published in 2000 in the Journal of the American Pharmacists Association. And although it was 15 years ago, the information presented in this white paper is still true today. And I would encourage you all to read and study it to determine what your perspectives might be if you were a student pharmacist serving on that task force today. Now let's focus on the answers to those questions. So let's go back to number 1. What does it mean to be a professional or to display professionalism in pharmacy? According to the white paper that I mentioned, the attitudes and behaviors that comprise professionalism can't be learned from a textbook or a lecture. Rather, they must be actively acquired and inculcated through the process of professional socialization or professionalization, which is the process of instilling a profession's attitudes, values, and behaviors in a professional with the ultimate goal of developing professionalism. So in essence, what we're doing here today is the beginning of your personal professionalization into the profession of pharmacy. Now, there are 10 traits included in professional attitudes and behaviors of a pharmacy professional that you will learn while you're in the pharmacy program here at Rosalind Franklin. These particular traits are, first, knowledge and skills of a profession. Your first job is to learn all that you can while you're in pharmacy school so that you have the foundational knowledge necessary to be a pharmacist. Second, a commitment to self-improvement of those skills and knowledge. You need to be committed to being a lifelong learner. The profession of pharmacy is always changing. The only constant is change. So with that change, you'll need to be able to keep up with all of those changes so that you can provide the best patient care. Third is the service orientation. The health professions are all serving professions, and pretty much everybody I know in healthcare goes into healthcare because they want to be able to help people, and that involves a service orientation. Fourth is pride in the profession. As you learn and grow through the pharmacy program here at Rosalind Franklin, you will learn about what it means to be a pharmacist and the role that you will play on the healthcare team. You will learn that as the medication expert, your role is vital to providing quality care. Fifth is the covenantal relationship with the patient. A covenant is a two-way promise. In pharmacy, the patient promises to trust the pharmacist and follow their advice, and in exchange, the pharmacist promises to help each individual patient to achieve optimal outcomes for their medications and to maintain that patient's trust. The sixth one is creativity and innovation. In order to advance the pharmacy profession in the ever-changing world of healthcare, creativity and innovation are essential. As you learn about the role of the pharmacist, please try to think outside the box and develop your creativity so that you can come up with innovative solutions to the problems that exist in healthcare today. Seventh is conscience and trustworthiness, possibly one of the most important traits for a pharmacist. It only takes one pharmacist who does not uphold this standard to destroy the trust that society places on pharmacists. We must all work together to be honest and trustworthy in order to maintain the trust of our patients and the general public. Eighth is accountability for your work. The trait of accountability is important not only when you're in school, but even more so when you are in practice, because you are accountable not only to your employer, but to each and every patient that you serve and the team that you will play a role of being a pharmacist on. Ninth is ethically sound decision making. As a pharmacist, you're bound by a code of ethics, which can be found at pharmacist.com for those of you who have not seen it yet. Similar to conscience and trustworthiness, ethically sound decision-making is an important trait that is necessary to maintain the trust that is given to us by our patients. And the 10th and final is leadership. As a pharmacist, you will be not only a leader in your workplace, but also in your community and on the healthcare team. I encourage you to seek as many opportunities as you can while you're in school to develop yourself as a leader. These skills will benefit you tremendously after you graduate. And now that you are familiar with the traits of a professional, I would challenge each of you as you navigate your pharmacy education to be observant and seek out opportunities to develop and improve upon these traits in yourself so that you may become the pharmacy professional that you, your family, and society can be proud of and feel safe placing their trust in. Now we'll move on to question number 2. Is professionalism in pharmacy different from professionalism in other professions? As you ponder these traits, could they be applied to a nurse or a physician or even a lawyer? I would posit that yes, these traits could be applied to any of these professions that I've mentioned. If you change the word patient to client in the covenantal relationship, these traits could be easily applied to the profession of law. However, the key distinction and the way each profession makes them their own is through trait number 4, which was pride in the profession. Each profession has to understand their role in society and take ownership of their responsibilities. Each profession also has to take each of the traits and apply them to their role as we've done today. The answer to this question, that the traits of professionalism are the same in other health professions, will help you to understand those that you will work with when you provide team-based care, not only as a student, but also as a pharmacist. Moving on to question number 3. When should you learn about professionalism as a component of your PharmD curriculum? And when is profession needed? I think it's fantastic that Rosalind Franklin actually started discussing professionalism with you at orientation. So in the last few days, you've already started learning about these traits. But starting today, when you don your white coat, you will become a member of the pharmacy profession and officially a student pharmacist. You have already begun to learn about professionalism, and you've begun your own personal professionalization. You will continue to learn about what it means to be a professional throughout your didactic and experiential learning while you're in pharmacy school. You will also learn about professionalism as you participate in student organizations and develop your skills as leaders. As you get to know your classmates, your faculty, and even practicing pharmacists, I'll warn you that you may receive mixed messages about the professional aspects of pharmacy practice and what it means to be a professional. And as you experience these mixed messages, please keep in mind that, you may experience professional behavior also along the way that is less than ideal, while in other areas you may experience very positive examples of professionalism. And as you experience these mixed messages, please keep in mind that professionalism is not a passive process, but rather a responsibility that you must take upon yourself starting now. Learn both from the positives and from the negatives that you experience, and remember that professionalization is a lifelong process that will occur throughout your career. I would bet that even your dean is continually striving to be a better pharmacy professional and improving on his professionalism, as am I. You may also make some mistakes along the way, and I would encourage you to take responsibility for those mistakes and commit to improving yourself as a professional so that they don't happen again in the future. So when is it important to be a professional? Always. How many of you have already had someone ask you a medication-related question as soon as they knew you were accepted into pharmacy school? Does that happen to anybody? Raise your hands high so that folks in the audience can see. The majority of the students with the white coats here have already been asked a question about medications. I experienced the exact same thing, and it was a very eye-opening experience for me to learn that so quickly my friends and family placed their trust in me as a member of the pharmacy profession, and I hadn't even been to my first class yet. This illustrates the importance of displaying professionalism and representing the profession of pharmacy well at all times. And as you take the oath of a pharmacist today, you will promise to devote yourself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. I would encourage you to use this devotion to others as a motivation to strive for excellence in professionalism at all times. It will take all of us in the profession of pharmacy to be dedicated in our lives and in our practices to maintain the trust society has placed in us as pharmacists. Will you join me, your faculty and administrators, in striving for professional excellence? Welcome to the profession of pharmacy.
I think I'm even shorter than Jen. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome you into the profession of pharmacy this morning. As I read the names, please hold your applause until all names have been read. And now I present Amberly Abraham. Timmy Agbula. Janine Almazan. Anne Maurice Alvarez. Adnan Ansari. Jacqueline Anyasi. Esma Awad. Drew Bailey. April Benchoen Charoensuk. Tahar Baziz. Sydney Bellow. Kristen Bessler. Afwaj Bin Hussein.
Congratulations.
Charvel Boda. Jennifer Brown. Taylor Bunting. Soyoung Chang. Glenn Chenitaku. David Chi. Robert Choi. Maxim Daku. Joseph DeSantis. Mary Devereaux. Pavneet Dillon. Kevin Din. Maria Doan. Bong Quinn Dung. Rami Alfeki. Nazneen Fatima. Rebecca Hadrian. Cole Hines. Alexandria Henry. Gigi Isaac. Ty Jarenson. Kai Hyuk Ko. Joy Kanko. Aaron Larson Van Alstine. Colton Larson. Esther Lee. Ho Lee. Marshall Lee. Charles Benson Lowe. Bhavani Madanini. Nikunj Modi. Andrea Navarrete. Kevin Nguyen. Taylor Page. Lauren Pata. Brock Pavlik. Brianna Perry. Quay Fan. Cassandra Pikarski. Hillary Powell. Anne Ray. Kylie Rakowski. Yekaterina Revenuk. Anthony Rotuno. Sarah Saleh. Ahmed Shohari. Blair Simmons. Kana Sinha. Luis Alexander Solano. Anik Nicole Spence. Anna Monica Stapor. Abdul Adnan Syed. Reniel Talheimer. Cassandra Thomas. Daryl Trong. Elliot Valete Rodriguez. Rama Sunita Beju. Jonathan Wan. Emily Winter. Joshua Zigwide. Ferial Ulacruz. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2019, congratulations and welcome. Dr. Haynes.
Good morning and congratulations again. I would now like to ask the class of 2019 to please rise. We will now continue the symbolism of today's ceremony with the lighting of candles. Would the second year students please begin to light the candles at the end of each student row, and in turn those students light the candles of the students next to them. The flame of these candles represents the knowledge that is both accepted by you during your training and passed on from you to your patients and colleagues as you continue your career. Today your candles are lighted by members of the classes of 2018, led by the student dean, Michael Hildebrand, class of 2017. Next year, you will be able to light the candles of the class of 2020. And so we maintain the tradition of sharing and giving that will continue well into the future. We will now recite the pharmacy oath together. Any pharmacy professionals in the audience who would like to join in reciting the pharmacy oath, please stand and recite along with the class of 2019. You will find the oath on the slides and the back of your program as well. And to begin, I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for my patients. I will respect and protect all personal and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. You may now blow out your candles. I would now like to introduce our Vice Dean, Dr. Wren.
It's my responsibility today to bring the program to a close. But before we do that, there is a lot of thanks that need to go out to many, many people. First, I'd like to start off by saying that how proud we are of all of you today and joining the profession. It's a great thing, and it always warms my heart to come to these types of events. I get a little choked up each time I do it. So if I feel a little bit verklempt, it's because I'm a little choked up for you guys. So welcome. First, I'd like to thank certainly our presenters who came today from the East Coast, Dr. Jen and Alex Adam. Their talks were truly inspirational, and I hope you take their words to heart. Also like to thank the generous support of Jewel Osco for financially supporting, and the White Coats and the reception that follows. Certainly a lot of planning goes into events like this today, and without the Office of Student Affairs and Professor Winnicky, our Student Affairs Dean, and Dawn Schoen from her office, this event certainly couldn't have occurred today. Certainly they work very closely with our Student Affairs offices for the university, and certainly would like to thank the people from that office, all of them, but certainly Steve Wyan and Beth Friedman and Sarah Nobby and all the folks that they work with. I'd also like to thank our quartet today. A big round of applause for them. They are the Midwest Young Artists, and we certainly do appreciate you coming out today. Certainly wouldn't be able to do everything we do today without the folks in the back there, Cliff Turner and his excellent AV expertise, as well as just facilities maintenance and setting up the day, and the program upstairs, which I hope, the reception upstairs, which I hope you all enjoy. So that really brings us to a close. We're going to have a recessional. Our students will exit first, but I just want to let everybody know there is a reception afterwards up in the Centennial Room. When you exit here, you'll go to the right. There'll be people to help you and some signs, but you'll be going up one flight and then to the right in the front of the building, and then one more flight of stairs. There are some elevators down here. If folks need elevators, they're to the right, so please certainly ask for help if you need the elevators to get up to the reception. I'd like really one last thing before the students leave. You guys are already standing. You'll never get to leave an auditorium without an assignment. So our assignment for you guys today is for you guys to turn around and just thank your parents, your family, your friends for being here by giving them a big round of applause for all that they do for you and supporting you. And now the family, you guys also have some responsibilities and an assignment today as well. I'd like you guys to stand too and give your loved ones a round of applause. So again, we would like to thank everybody for coming. We hope you enjoy the reception. The students will exit first. We're going to ask them to come back in, though, once they exit for some photographs in here. And then you'll go and join your family and friends upstairs. There'll be a photographer up there as well to take family portraits together with your graduates. So with that, I'd like the students to proceed to the exit, I think.